Hey,
Hey, what's up?
nothing much, just here.
Cool. Thanks for joining.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'll keep the camera on, but I just figured I'd just do the polite thing and say hello.
yeah.
For the people listening who saw the interview with your brother,
Mhm.
they could probably put the two and two together. You're
Yeah.
related, but like, do you mind introducing yourself? Just like telling them who you are and everything like that.
Valarie Rosener, I'm 16. I'm a
Head,
junior
your
at Van Meter.
head,
Um,
head's like halfway cut off.
oh, sorry.
No, it's chill. Remind me, are you like a junior or senior this year?
I'm a junior this year.
Junior. Okay, I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember very much since it's been a few years. But yeah,
Mhm.
so, like I said, thank you again for coming on. Unless you have any like quick questions, my first thing I always kind of just start off is like, tell me about your childhood. Like, what was it like growing up for you?
For me, growing up, um, I think a primary part of my childhood was probably COVID because when I was in fifth grade is when we went into lockdown.
Mm,
So, yeah, that's kind of just like mainly what I remember from my childhood, I'd say, like, because just, being in lockdown and just playing outside, never really, like, doing schoolwork, which was probably bad. And then obviously my siblings, I never really got to know, like, Max and Mia, my older
yeah.
ones, because,
Hmm.
they went to college both when I was, like, 6 and 8. So, I don't know, I never really got to know them very well. But yeah, and then we moved from my old house, when I was probably, like, 6 also. So, yeah.
Yeah, I do remember like I feel like that's like the biggest thing for like people like this generation. COVID is like the biggest factor of. I feel like it's like
Yeah,
when
definitely.
I remember a lot about COVID that kind of is blanked out for some reason. But I remember like
Mm.
I just remember like I was over at your house for something and your mom was just complaining how they would always send a bunch of homework like the print off and whatnot. So I
Yeah.
don't know if that really does. I don't know if that really brings anything up, but I just remember that. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for the people who don't know, obviously I know who Scott and Saber are, but like, do you mind like what were your folks like growing up?
Growing up, my mom was kind of like the breadwinner. She,
Yeah,
mainly, like she worked in healthcare. Her job title has changed a little bit from, like, since now she is a lobbyist
hmm,
for the, like, government, I guess. My dad is kinda just he's more of, like, a stay home. It's
yeah,
kinda like role reverse type of thing, but,
yeah.
yeah, and, like, earlier in my childhood, I just remember, like, he'd always be taking me to practices and cooking dinner and, like, all that stuff.
I know who they are personally. I've obviously met them, but like you obviously have a different you definitely have a different perspective since like they're your parents. Were they strict? Or,
Yeah.
like what kind of like relationship was that? If you don't mind me asking.
They're definitely very laid back. They kinda were always letting me, um, like, just do kinda whatever I wanted, which I know that might sound like, "Oh, like, Miss, like, does whatever she wants," but I think it kinda, like, allowed me to, um, like, just experience things for myself, like, unlike, if there's, like, a strict helicopter parent, you can't really, like, experience much that way. So I feel like I kinda always just had the freedom to these experiences that I know not everybody, like, can have
Yeah,
necessarily.
weird because I always remembered Scott being like strict for some reason.
Well, I would say less strict and more, like, opinionated. I guess he really just, like, is picky about what he, like, does want us doing or not. Like, we
Yeah,
have a lot of freedom, but if, like, for example, I wanted to, like, I don't know, take the dogs to, like, the pond, he would wanna make sure that they didn't get any, like, burrs or anything, kinda just, like, to his own convenience type of thing. Like, as long as it doesn't affect him, he really doesn't mind.
I know you said you don't really remember like a lot about like like the older siblings. Gus stated how like you guys were like at least to him you kind of had like a tight knit relationship kind of
Yeah.
because like you guys were I think like Gus is 20 and you're like 17, right?
16, yeah.
16? Oh, I thought you were like 17. My bad.
Sure.
But like, but yeah, you guys, but basically, you guys are kind of like the tight knit relationship. What has that the same way for you, basically?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say like Gus being like a middle child, he's definitely gotten to like have that like more like younger sibling and older sibling relationship. And I don't think I really had that. I mean, I guess it's gotten a little bit better for me, but like older, like everyone being older sibling wise, but like Gus is definitely the closest because obviously, he's like been around, and it I feel like I can relate to Mia and Max more on things now. Like I guess because we know we're both on social media and stuff, but like now they're getting married, they're getting their own kids, so it's like we all have very different like things going on in our life right now, still like need to get older to be able to like fully relate to them. While Gus, he's like still in school, he's like pursuing music, so like we have lots of interests that are like aligning right now, and I think that's mainly why our relationships like also so
Apparently, like I knew you played basketball, like your whole it was kind of even mentioned like how you all played basketball, Mia and like your whole family like slightly played basketball. And I kind of remembered that because like I somewhat remembered that. But like when did basketball become a thing for you? Because like obviously you're wearing a basketball jersey
yeah.
or a hoodie or whatever you want to call it. You know, you get what I mean.
Yeah. um I'd say basketball has always been a part of my life. Especially when I was really young, so probably starting when I was in about 2nd grade, I'd say, mainly. Um, I would go to little camps and stuff, and I'd always be at my older siblings' games, and I'd go with Gus, like, on his trips for AAU basketball.
Yeah.
So it's always been a really big factor, not only me playing it, but, like, me watching it and growing up with it. And, like, Gus also, like, I remember I learned this, like I feel like it's, like, kinda come natural to me too, like, with, watching
Hmm.
it so often and stuff like that. And, like, I have this memory of at my old house when Gus was teaching me how to do this move, and, he was like, "Wow, you learned that really fast." And I was like, "Yeah." So, I don't know, I feel like, watching it with, like, having older siblings to, like, look up to with the sport has definitely, um, like, helped me catch on early to it.
So basically being the whole a basketball family kind of it basically impact that's kind of what interjected that into your life.
Yeah,
I know, like obviously, if you grow up around something, you're gonna eventually like it or hate it, one or the other. But
yeah.
like, why did you like what's so interesting to it? You think?
Well, honestly, basketball is not my favorite thing in the world. I definitely do it mainly because like I've been doing it for so long and I feel like it's like part of my identity as much as I wouldn't say I love basketball. But I'd say that it's definitely part of me.
Mm.
So like, I don't know, except just because 'cause I've been doing it for so long, I'd say, what keeps me in it now is my team because, yeah, I mean, you can get really close to people with, being around them at
Yeah.
practices and traveling across the country with them, so
When did you start? Like, I mean, like personally, when did you start like basketball?
probably, like, 2nd grade.
Was it your parents just start on getting you into it, or why did you like what got like? Okay, that might be a stupid question because like obviously parents kind of just decide at you at that early age like you're gonna do a sport now, but like at what age do you think like you or grade or whatever do you think you like kind of took that initiative?
Probably in, like I remember I went through, like, a specific switch from 8th to 9th grade. So, like okay, so, like, early on, I actually used to, like, run away when I had to go to practice. I would run and hide, like, in 4th grade because not because I hated the sport, but because I hated the team. And so, like, that's why I say it's such a big factor. So, there's that, but anyway, so and, like, I don't know if you really are familiar with the basketball positions very well?
It's debatable, but I could probably get to it if you like if you start explaining, I could probably get into
Yeah.
it.
So, the 5 which is the 5th player, and they're the biggest player, and they usually
Mhm.
don't shoot threes, and they stay, like, inside the lane and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Anyway, so that's kinda what I was because I was so tall, especially at such a young age. So that's what I grew up doing, and then when I went into high school, I had a decent shot just from, like, shooting in my backyard, and that's when my coach decided to make me a guard, which was a big switch for me,
Mhm.
and I think that also really, like, I don't know, it kinda just changed the player I used to be and, like, to the player I am now, because I'd say I'm definitely more of a guard now, and, I don't know, that switch definitely helped because, like, I didn't like the I don't know, I didn't like being, post, so
You said basketball is not like your biggest thing, but like I think you're in two things. Right? You're like in two basketball teams. Like, what are you more passionate about? I think like Gus mentioned, you're like want to be a marine biologist. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm definitely more passionate about wanting to become, like, a marine biologist. I'd say that, like, in going into that, I'd say I've always been passionate about, like, animals, and so,
Hmm.
like, everyone's like and this is, like, way more than basketball. Be like, I yeah, and so I, like, have always been interested in the ocean, nature, animals, so I feel like me finding this career was really, like, just, like, fit right into my passion, and, I'm actually in a class right now at Central Campus. I don't know, it's in Des Moines. I don't know
No,
if you know
yeah, I
that.
go there too.
Yeah. So I'm taking class there. I'm taking the aquarium science class, and I'll be
Yeah.
taking the marine biology class next year. It's
Just
definitely helped.
curious, what period are you? Because I'm like second and third period, and then I have lunch, so that's like my central classes.
I'm period 1 through 2.
Oh, so like we're kind of
Yeah.
but yeah. What was there anything in your life that kind of like impacted you deeply? Like, were there any like things that like you experienced or were involved around?
Um, hmm, uh, I'm not very sure. I mean, I've had a few pets die, but I mean, that hasn't really, like, deeply affected me, I'd say. I mean, I wasn't quite old enough to remember it, but I do remember that Mia's friend, I think her name was Ivy, I think she committed suicide in when she was in high school, and
Shit.
so I feel like as much as I wasn't really aware of it in the moment, I definitely, like, the fact that Mia, like, had a friend that did that, I definitely would, like, be, like, checking on my friend's mental health more and, like, be careful of or, like, considerate of that too.
I don't know if I remember, but that name rings a bell. Shit, when did that happen?
I think in, like, 2017 or maybe 2016.
Oh, okay, so like very young.
A while ago, yeah.
School coming to the end, like we kind of discussed marine biology and like basketballs. Like I don't, is it more like a sport or is it like more like a hobby or like how would you like us like while we're on the topic, is it more like a hobby to you or like how would you like say? Because you said it's not like your main thing.
Yeah, I say, it's just a sport to me. It's not necessarily my passion, but I mean, there's definitely ups and downs too, but I'd say I enjoy it just, like, for the team aspect, really. Yeah, it's kind of just a sport, but it's also kind of an opportunity to hang out with my friends.
Got a word from the inside that apparently you're a really good artist. Why did you stop doing that?
I still occasionally do some art. I'd say I just don't really have the time. I used to just be able to sit in front of the TV and just draw like characters. But I mean, I just don't really have time because once I have a basketball and I also have lots of schoolwork and yeah, I haven't grown out of it, I'd say. I definitely love to draw still. I have a few drawings and paintings that, um, like, I've had in my, like, art fair at the school
Yeah.
and stuff. So, yeah, I'd still do it, just less often.
Like I know, like obviously when you're a kid, it's just doodling. But like Deb, if you have evolved anyways, like what kind of style are you into?
I kinda just like drawing with a pencil.
Just
Um,
doodling, basically.
yeah, I mean, yeah, they're pretty much just doodles. I don't really use any, like, color or anything, you know? unless it's like paint. And when I do paint, I like painting with like acrylics. And those are mostly I mostly get the chance to paint when I'm at my grandma's house because she definitely encourages me a lot to do so.
Are you ever gonna get back into it?
Yeah, I might someday, but it'd probably have to be after school, after school and or high school and college, unless I take like an art class, which I don't see myself doing anytime soon because once again, I have other things to focus on.
Is that what you want to maybe do, like marine biology and like stuff like that, or like what is the plan after high school? You think?
Yeah, so I'm planning to go to college in Florida so that I can pursue marine biology or become a marine scientist, which basically are the same things.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I was planning to get my master's after my 4 years and yeah, hopefully I can achieve that.
Like why Florida?
So Florida just, like anywhere coastal really can work for like that major. But specifically, we've been looking at Eckerd College, which is like known for their marine biology
Mhm.
classes and environmental science and things like that. And yeah, it just looks like a really nice college. And Florida, who want to live in Florida? It's nice
Hell
and warm.
yeah.
Definitely somewhere like somewhere with animals or something with animals. I actually never really thought about marine biology. I didn't ever really know what I wanted to be when I was younger. I never really thought about it. And then I knew I would have to eventually choose a job, or a career. So I kind of just tried to put everything I like doing into a job.
Mhm.
And cuz I don't really like working, which who does? But I'd rather, money is not the biggest issue for me. I feel like in my future, well, I mean, but yeah, cuz like marine biologists they don't make much, but I feel like I'd rather have, a job I love with like experience and all that instead of like, making a bunch of money.
After 2020, you never know these days.
Yeah.
Looking back, I don't. Obviously, you're still in your high school career. I don't know why I was gonna say looking back, but when you're looking, like, I guess, do you you've seen the Breakfast Club, right?
Yeah, I have.
You know the terms like the geek, the nerd, the pretty person. You get what I'm kind of going, like,
Yeah.
how would you identify yourself? Because like, feel like that's a good way to like at least like check yourself off.
I definitely say I'm probably I mean, it's a small school, so I'd say I'm probably pretty popular all around. For what I'm popular for, I think I'm just like nice to everyone.
Yeah.
And I just try to talk to everyone and bring them into conversations and um yeah, and so that's probably how I would say that. I mean, because I'm an athlete too, so
Is that some of your paintings in the back? Because I see some on your bed
those
or
those
photos.
are
Like,
family photos
oh,
of everyone. Actually there is a painting though. It actually and me and Gus made it for my
oh,
mom.
cool.
Here I can get it one second. um
Nice ceiling
th-
fan.
thank you.
Looks pretty.
Thank you. Yeah, it is our backyard.
Uh,
Me and Gus both kind of split it in half and did each thing. So, and
when?
Gus is also quite the artist. It's kind of
Oh,
overlooked,
really?
but yeah, he is. He's made a few like sorry, I don't know that you like the like thing it's called, but he's made a few things just like in art class. But they're good, and he's made like a Kid Cudi album cover.
But you're a person of multiple talents. Is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, with college, you're like basically just a year away with like it being like last semester wise. I'm done with high school, so congrats on that. But like you still have a little bit left. Like, what do you have anything like? Is there anything you want to do with the maybe like? like gather with the last semester or year or whatever you want to call it?
I wouldn't say so. I'm just well, I'm trying to become better at math, I guess. I'm
Yeah.
trying to just like get into it more. Like obviously, like I've been taking math classes, but I've always been very bad at math. And so I'm going to try to I think I'm gonna have to take a math class over this summer, and that's not gonna be very enjoyable. But
Yeah.
I'm yeah, I think as much as I hate math, like which I have to do lots of math for the career I want to go into, which is marine
Why's
biology.
that?
Um because it's just a very mathy career. You have to know calculus 1, 2, and yeah, you kind of just it's like for like populations of fish and stuff like that.
Like gathering all of them up, or like what,
Uh
counting everything down, or like what? Like how do you mean?
Yeah, there's, like, a few different and, like, you use, like, it's definitely depends what field of marine biology you go into, whether that's, like, assessing the populations of fish or, like, the growth of algae or, the, ocean waves, like, stuff like that. I don't necessarily really know at the moment. I
Yeah.
just know that, uh, the, um the courses, at Eckerd are, like, Calculus 1 and Calculus 2 and stuff like that, so
Unless there's any other stuff you don't think would be important to talk about, that was all my questions. I appreciate you taking this 10-year gap conversation with me.
yeah, yeah, of course.